Open series, the play-ins, right? The pressure, the appearance of the Hugh Huan within the BP has been huge, and it's a good first pick, right? You can flex it into the mid lane, you can flex it into the jungle, keeps your opponents guessing. But we now see Virtus Pro have actually on the stage as well. We just saw Vex there. They ban out the Mai Shiranui, they ban out the Dolia and the Sun Bin. After locking in that Zhongfei for themselves, they kind of want to make sure that those more enchantress kind of support heroes don't come through, because we know the great counter engage mechanics that Sunbin has, right? And the same with the Dolia.
Yeah, that's right. And if you take a look at the draft, it's really a sourcing kind of draft, right? They want to look for those openings, and this will place a lot of emphasis onto the Ogren for the side of VP, and for the side of Vitality, it's going to fall on the Dharma. So they need to find these openings, and hopefully with the openings, it will then allow their farm lanes to really just deal and get the damage in as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is a classic 90 pick, right? Dharma was probably one of the big picks for him in EWC. We saw him come through with the Dharma quite often, especially back then when Orgrim wasn't quite yet available to be used. We were looking more of a switch up between the Elaine, the Byron, which obviously has now been banned out. Same with the Hino as well. So looking to focus not only the mid lane, but also a jungle pick. The Hino can be as well. But locking in the Orgrim for a Virtus Pro is huge for them, right? They do go for the Dharma to try and get a little bit more CC to try and counter the Orgrin, but Ali coming through there as well is a great first pick for the side of Virtus Pro. They go for the Mulan. So again, this is a hero that was actually getting a lot of airtime in EWC. It was, I believe, AG Global picked it up, right, against the KPL Dream Team. And then ever since then, I hadn't seen it since Season 1 Invitational. So hey, the Mulan comes out onto the Gorge once more to go against the Dharma. How do we feel about that one, Ken?
Really good, right? Because with the recent patch itself, Mulan is now buffed, so you can definitely expect her to appear on the Gorge a little bit more. In terms of proficiency, we're looking for an opening. So if she catches onto anyone on the backlines, if there is no anti-CC protection, essentially you can kind of soft confirm that it's going to be a kill. But at this point of time, looks like they want to go for the heals as well. Tyen as well as Princess Frost will be picked up on the side of Vitality. I like the CC, but Princess Frost is a highly mechanical hero. Needs a lot of spacing, needs to be very accurate. And I think it might be of a certain difficulty for Vitality.
Yeah, I think they just want to go for quite a bit of sustain, right? Because, I mean, they have the sustain from the Hugh Huan, they have it from the Taiyan as well. And kind of pairing that with the Lung and the Dharma, you can kind of see a little bit of a hyper carry strat going on for the side of Team Vitality. So you over to the side of Virtus Pro, they're going for some really solid picks like the Orgrin, like the Ali as well. Some really good high appearance picks. It just all depends on how they play it and seeing how, if Mac can actually match up to Shanks' performance, right? Because with the Ali being a late game hero, you need to make sure that that resource acquisition is something that you do quicker than your opponent.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know what? Actually, I have a huge concern. That's going to fall on Winter, because I'm not the biggest fan of a Tyen pick. I don't feel like she offers too much. But we'll see, right? Because the earworms could be effective in the fights.
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of see that they're just going for a lot of CC to try and counter the Orgrin. They don't want to be victims of that conductor of souls, right?
Yeah, you know, with the healing him, it does provide a lot of sustain, a lot of heals, because one of the things that Vex is looking for is low health. But with the Tyen, it's going to kind of counter that particular front, right? But my concern is Winter, not super survivable in the fights if she gets caught off at the wrong timing.
Yeah, I think that's down to a great ban and pick rate, right? Ban draft from Virtus Pro. And the Dolia, the banned out the Sunbin as well. Kind of, they took the Zhongfei for themselves, obviously, so there was not a lot left to have within the support role. If they went for the Liam Po, I think it would have just been a little bit less of a sustain, more of trying to get onto the back line, like the Ali, like the Suya as well. And again, I don't think we've seen Liam Po in the support role within the open, the play-ins, and it hasn't actually gone that well, right?
Yeah, but at this point, we'll see how it goes, right? Because we are pretty neck and neck, a slight advantage here going to the side of Vitality at this point, as the knockup does arrive for the side of VP. Now, VP, they're known as a very aggressive team as well, so let's see if they're going to pull their weight for this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about Vex getting all that gold up right, just making sure he's able to build the Blazing Cape, the Eye of the Phoenix to just boost that HP regen as well. So it's just all about a matter of time, right, for both of these builds. Okay, 90, dealing a lot of damage.
Yep, that's a good poke, right? And this is exactly what Vitality needs to be doing at this point. They will suffer from an EXP deficit because Prince should have it down. The passive coming in, the Sanctification, going to allow him to be much higher level than your usual mid laner.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of the Dharma pick, right? Even though you've got some, like, versatile, very agile hero like the Mulan just dashing around and stuff like that, he can just, like, change the angle, right? He can be like, pop, 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 turn around, pop, 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 turn around, and just, like, try and catch her up that way, and even at the same time clear the minion wave.
Yeah, so, Enlightenment really important for the side of Vitality. At this point, it's a back and forth, right? Nobody wants to overcommit, nobody wants to give that first blood as well, because once you give a swing to either side, they're going to snowball really hard.
Yeah, and I think the good thing with the Ogren pick into a Virtus Pro, right, is the fact that Hugh1's not able to kind of have that dominative performance that we've seen on the likes of Raikou, but trying to get into the enemy jungle, which has been kind of like the key thing, right, in the early game with Hugh1.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Actually, this might be the first catch. They might want to commit on this. Not going to have it too much, right? Erum going to be committed as well. But Vitality, they're just poking and prodding. I don't think they want to overcommit at this point.
Yeah, just a quick one, Ken. What would you think to the Suya pick here, but ending into the Virtus Pro roster?
I like it, right? And it works really well. Here we go. This is going to be the Winter is here. Not going to be enough damage at this point. And, back to your question itself, I think if you give it the Ogren or even the Mulan or Arlie, it could be very damaging because late game, they are a very scary bunch. It's going to be hard to catch Prince out.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, though, here with Prince, because he hasn't able to actually get any sort of, like, XP level up, even though that's the whole thing of Suye, right? He's still level 6. He's just about to get to level 7. Not too far ahead of Highland. That's kind of, you want to be playing way further ahead in the XP game when you're Suye, right?
Yeah, it's a compounding effect, right? And this might be the one that gets it down. Tyrant is in threatening health range. It is going to be Tsuya that gets it. Prince gets the steal. Winter is still alive, but can he survive? First blood actually goes to Vitality. 4-on-1 in the middle. The river is not going to be a safe place. It's going to be 3 down for the side of VP as Vitality take the first step forward.
Yeah, they get the crucial kill, Theft, but at what cost can they take a 3-0 trade over to the side of Team Type Vitality? It does put them up by 700 gold, and it leaves that T1 into the farm lane completely unguarded. So again, that is a way better trade than taking the Tyrant. Tyrant lasts a little longer, but the effects of the T1 takedown, those 3 kills, has a lasting effect, right?
Yeah, for sure. And at this point, Mac is trailing Shanks in the EXP department. So even though Prince is leading, it's even out by this part of Shanks.
Yeah, just completely trying to change the roles and the leads between these two teams here. But again, we're seeing that gold lead slowly slip away from Virtus Pro. They've got to make sure that they can take a next team fight in their favor. It kind of went like... At the beginning part, we saw it was like, hey, okay, Virtus Pro, they get the crucial kill theft. Maybe that extra bit of damage would help them. But no, it's just how Team Vitality navigated that whole team fight was just a great composure.
Yeah, it kind of like nullifies the efforts that have been put in by VP right now. 90 gonna just get some pokes in, retreats at this point. And I don't think Vitality wants to overcommit. Right now, they're taking a look at what kind of opening Vitality is going to offer them.
Yo, into the mid line, we see a lot of people. Virtus Pro looking to get some traded blows there onto City Boy, but he doesn't feel it. He can heal it.
Yeah, it's not a perfect start, right? Because at this point, they committed the flash from 3005, and there was no result for that. There was no return on investment.
Yeah, when you want to be using these things, it's completely opportunity, right? You need to just make sure you're getting the most out of when you sacrifice something that is fatal within either getting a way into a team fight or a way out, especially on a hero like the Mulan. You can kind of see Mac actually doing a little bit of a mirroring play that Shanks was doing into the farm lane, right? He's looking to get that T1 into the clash lane. Zhang Fei is doing a great job at keeping the side of Vitality from him. 90 maybe getting an approach here.
Yep, Winter is here, going to be dropped down. The stun does not land from the side of Prince, but they do get the return blow from City Boy, right? Now, I know you like to play a mean Ogren Blam. At this point, does it feel like he's under a lot of pressure?
I mean, if you look at the goal difference, no, because he's ahead, right? So the Path of Passings are coming through pretty well. He's able to get his Azure Golems and Crimson Golems at all times. It's not like City Boy is doing much to actually try and starve the Ogryn, which is kind of the counterplay, right? If you don't have the CC, you've got to starve the Ogryn.
Yeah, which is also a risk that they're taking, right? Because if you invade the jungle at the wrong time, essentially you give away that lead you've worked so hard in the first 7 minutes of the game for.
Yeah, you can kind of see, though, in the gold lead that Shanks is able to get just a little bit ahead of Mac right now, and that's the kind of thing you don't want to let slip further away. But we've seen Shanks plenty of times. He's able to just be a great farm lane player. That was a great wave clear from the side of Vitality, just keeping that T1, maybe trying to go for it into the bot lane. They're able to get it on the side of Virtus Pro. So another turret is going over to Virtus Pro. So Virtus Pro not having that same issue as Tribe Gaming did yesterday.
Yep, and here we go. This could be the engage that they're looking for. They will not overcommit, right? It's all about positioning for the side of Vitality. And based on what they're doing, I feel like they could be a bit more aggressive. Right now, they are just too afraid to overstep their boundaries.
I mean, that's got to be good for Virtus Pro, right? Especially for the ego. It's like, hey, they're not sort of like taking us for granted here. They're actually playing with a lot of respect for the side of Virtus Pro. Mulan might get caught out in a 2v1 up into the clash lane we have not seen just yet. But hey, so far so good for both of these teams. They're keeping neck and neck, right?
Yep, and it's going to be a trade, right? With 3005, team might not die. They do not get the steal here on the side of Vitality. And this could be the swing that VP has been waiting for, right? So a failed play on the top, this could spell the end of the lead.
Absolutely.
Yep,
So, conductor results going in.
Might be. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a kill, and this was the concern, right? Winter immediately gets bursted down. They make the trade, but is it worthwhile, right? You give a support, you get a trade in the neutral objectives. What do you think, Blam?
It all depends on what Vitality now do with the Overlord, right? When those Vanguards come through, are they actually going to get a lot of pressure into those lanes? Right now, you can kind of see that the advantage for Virtus Pro is down into the bot side of the lane, whereas right now, it's pretty much equalized in that clash lane. Seeing the teleport mechanic come through here for a 3005, looking to get a bit of a macro push and stop that, but hey, mid-fight.
Yep, Conductor, so it's going to be dropped. The freeze comes in. Frigid Prison going to land that mark. Vex is falling low. Could be the last hit there. Will not finish the mark. Vex walks away. This could be the turnaround that VP have been waiting for. They won't overcommit. At this point, 3005. He's looking for an opening.
They won't overcommit, and 3005 did what he needed to do in that bot lane, right? Was get the macro play, but he made
no! Yep, he's going to give his life, and this is going to be a lead back in the favor on the side of Vitality as well. If 90 does not fall, it's a win for Vitality.
Yeah, that would have been a huge fall for Vitality there if 90 did fall. We do see the retreat for Vex, though, over the wall with the Path of Passing. Are they going to lead up with Grizzly Q going in?
Yep, the beast is unleashed here, but it's going to be the ultimate coming in from the Yuhuan as well. It's all good. City Boy saved the team for the time being, and they want to maintain this lead that they have.
A lot of trading blows, a lot of damage onto the Zhong Fei, so really just keeping away from this next interaction, especially onto the Shadow Tyrant. Maybe this is what Vitality was doing, was just giving over these normal Tyrants and expecting to get that Shadow Tyrant, but you can kind of see the Virtus Pro are going for that Shadow Overlord, right? Shadow Vanguards are very good with those macro plays.
Yep, I like it. They make a beeline straight away, right? The moment they knew that, hey, the Tyrant is not worth contesting for, let's go for the Shadow Overlord instead.
Yeah, placing that a bit of pressure into the mid lane. They're able to get the T1, however, onto the side of Team Vitality. So only T1 surviving now on the side of Virtus Pro is that clash lane. And we know how important that mid T1 is. Virtus Pro tried very well, trying to get the T1 from Team Vitality, but they just put up too much of a fight to defend it. It is ground zero at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, so map advantage slightly towards Vitality once they reset the waves, right? At this point, Shadow Overlord, Shadow Vanguards, they're coming down. I don't think it's going to pose too much of a problem, but based on how VP rotates, we'll see.
Yes, so far we're looking at that goal lead, and it hasn't actually flitted too much between these teams, right? And I think that's the blessing for Virtus Pro right now, is the fact that they haven't lost a huge goal lead. Because if that's the case, Team Vitality could be clapping back. But here it comes. The Winter is coming, is laid down.
Vex is falling low. Some Rampage coming in. They're going to start the fight perfectly on the side of Vitality. They get the kill. Now they are going to reverse that wave. And right now, it's just pressure all across 3 lanes for the side of Vitality.
This was the problem that ISG had yesterday, right? When they went into team fights, their opponent's Influence Rage was taking out the Ogryn straight away. And that's kind of see what you're getting here from Team Vitality. They're focusing the Ogryn, so they don't really have much of a front line. Grizzly Q is always been used as like a second engage, or maybe trying to just catch off the rest of Team Vitality when they're not expecting it. Maybe not being used in the best way, but for now, let's see how they do without the Ogryn. Ogryn now back up. They've got to try and get some defensive measures here for VP.
Okay, so gold advantage still definitely in the side of Vitality, right? But EXP-wise, this is the benefit of having Prince. And here comes Vex. He's looking for an opening on the back lines. It is not going to be safe. Q1 ultimate going to be dropped on the side of City Boy, but here comes the kill. City Boy, the first one to fall in this fight as VP. They lay the damage in. Here comes the jump as well as Grizzly Q. He's looking for more. Jumping the back lines. The Ogryn Vex is going to back off, but it's 3 kills for the side of Virtus Pro, and this is a huge turnaround for them. 90 trying to chase on for the kill as well. Vex caught in no man's land at this point. All he needs to do is to run away. No power of passing. He will be taken down. Shanks once again. MVP-worthy performance as they take the win in that team fight.
Yeah, that infinite vastness coming through at the right point, right? Just get Shanks out of there, and then Shanks can then just get back in when he sees fit. And right when 90 was taking the chase onto Grizzly Q and Vex, he was like, hey, I'm coming back in there, boys. Don't worry. I've got the damage. And you can kind of see within the itemization, he's got the Starbreaker, he's got the Eternity Blade, he's got the Master Blade, and he's got the Siege Breaker. So there's a lot of damage coming from Shanks, and it showed there, just decimating Vex in a few blows.
Yeah, and this is really important, right? So VP at this point, I think what they need to find is to try and access the backline. They need the backline dive. Grizzly Q is in charge of this. Here we go, City Boy, once again getting caught out. Does use the Unending Sorrow to get out, Melody of Peace actually. And at this point, it's all about map control, because in the next 15 seconds, it's going to be the Shadow, Overlord, and Tyrant pick again.
Yeah, you can kind of see a bit of a rat race going on right now. You can see the Vitality have gone for the Clash lane push, and you can see that 3005 has gone for the farm lane push. So trying to get that trade for the T2s across the map is probably the best play here, right? Rather than playing it defensive and then losing everything, you're gaining something. And looking to take that Shadow Tyrant, they're able to. Shadow Overlord here, going to be contested for Vitality.
Yep, so Vitality, they know what's at risk, but this opens up the map. 3005, he's gonna get that T3 on the bottom. Is this a mistake from the side of VP?
Oh! Well, you can kind of see what Team Vitality wanted to do there, right? They wanted to get the Overlord quick enough so they could negate 3005's push into the bot lane, but they weren't able to get it quick enough and set it up quick enough.
All right, the Beast is going to be dropped here. This could be the big fight for the side of VP. They've been looking for this the whole game. 90, the first one to fall. He is going to be low on health as well. Winter going to be silenced, taken out immediately. Highland on the back line is getting caught out by Mac. Mac is just all over the place with the lift step as well. And they clear out majority of the team, only losing 3005. City Boy left alone to his own devices at this point. You have the Shadow Vanguards, you have the Shadow Overlord, but it's not going to be enough. Grizzly Q gonna keep him in place for Vex. Vex looking for the powerful passing as well. He's gonna try. He's buying time, City Boy, but that's all he's doing at this point, because here comes a Mac, and it is gonna be given to Grizzly Q. Unfortunate there, but VP take it all.
Absolute Mac attack, right? He came out of nowhere. He literally saved that whole interaction for the side of VP. If it weren't for that, putting the pressure onto Shanks, Shanks could have completely dominated that, right? He took a lot of blows in the early team fight, but was able to get the infinite fastness to get out of there. But Mac was just like, hey, buddy, where you going? I'm going to catch you. And that was the best part of the whole thing for VP. Able to take that fight, take it in a really good nature, but Vitality had the Vanguards, right? So they had the added pressure of making sure that not all the side of VP died, because if they did, those Vanguards could have taken out that T2 into the mid lane, or even the high ground turrets into the Clash lane. But a really good play there that set up the whole thing thanks to 3005. Giving props over to VP right now.
Oh, look at that. And this is where Prince is showing his value, right? This Zia pick so big at this point. Giving the sanctification over to Mac. Look at Mac. He's level 17. And as of now, based on the last fight, you know they can't handle this Mac. He has his software upgrade at this point.
Yeah, no, the extra attack speed, right, is going to be absolutely fatal here. But okay, 90 goes in.
Yep, the knockback, and they're gonna try and lay the pain, but the Beast is dropped onto the Gorge as well. They're chasing in. Shanks running for his life. They will try to push him away. City Boy trying to protect his farm lane as well. Infinite Vasa's gonna be dropped, but on the backlines, 3005. He's gonna just push them away, kite them away from this T2 in the mid, and VP just decimate that structure.
Yeah. I just had a mid-4 in the game, right? Maybe the Taiyang wasn't the best pick. Maybe the Shuangsu would have been better, right? Especially the counter for the Zhongfei with the big Embridled Outrage, the CC immunity could have stopped a lot of these team fights going up into favor of VP. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's a missed opportunity there, right? But you can see where the merits of the thought process was, because they need to survive Vex as well. And Vex, he does damage over time, especially with the path of passing, the depth precipice as well. So the heals does provide a counter for that, but nobody addressed the fact that Mac was just a pain in the rear areas of Vitality, literally.
Yeah. Literally, Mac Attack. I'm rebranding it. Hashtag Mac Attack for the side of VP. Already getting ahead with the gold now. So I think for the first time, they are now ahead steadily by about 1.4k. So that's a kind of lead that they want to get from Team Vitality. They want to make sure they're putting the pressure on in the right places.
Yep, the next fight is going to be huge for the side of VP if they can take this. They are going to try and bait this Shadow Tyrant, right? They want this fight. So Vex, I assume, would be very patient with this.
Yeah, very, very patient. It looks like they're trying to bait it with the actual Tyrant, but going for the Overlord. I think that's a really good, like, switcheroo, right? That's really well played by the side of VP, using that double smite to their advantage. I don't know who they've learned off VP here, but they're playing a lot better than they did in the last chance qualifier.
Yep, Vitality blindsided by that play, and now the pressure is on VP. This might be the game-winning moment for them.
Yep, I mean, it's looking like a setup, right? Hopefully they can just follow through with now they have the Shadow Overlord, the Shadow Vanguards, just getting that macro play and just making sure they make the best out of these next few team fights. Waiting in the bush is 90.
Yep, Grizzly Q, he doesn't care about that damage. Look at that, they're tickling him at this point. And Shanks, that's just one hit, guys. That's just one hit coming in from Mac.
Yeah, they say the truth hurts, right? But at that point, Grizzly Q's just like tickling and just jiggling. It's like, oh, yeah, the truth actually tickled a bit.
Yep, and at this point, VP, they're looking for the opening. Vex is just handling two members on his own in the mid as well. They will get rid of that Shadow Vanguard and Overlords at the top lane. So Vitality, it survived the first wave.
They survived the first wave, but what's looking even more meatier for me is that Tempest Dragon, right? If Vitality are able to survive this barrage on the base with the Vanguards, we could be seeing a Tempest Dragon come through in game 1 of day 1.
Okay, the beast is going to be dropped. Grizzly Q, this is not the way he wants to start the fight. Universal Law going to be laid down, but here comes the Flaming Palms. What a hit! And Shanks, they make a survival play there. Instant kill coming in from Shanks. What a play.
Yeah, I think that was a nicely timed kill onto Mac, right? As the Tempest Dragon is up in 18 seconds. Mac is down for a further about 10 seconds between the spawn of the Tempest, which means that Vitality could get a really good head start onto the Tempest or even bait a team fight. Right now, they kind of want to make sure where they're going with this.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, the Rampage comes in. Shanks gets the kill. Vitality, they get on stage here. They're performing all their best at this point.
Yeah, this is the problem when you have the lung pick, right? If you just try and get to the late game, you're in trouble when the lung is on the gorge. He does just so much damage. He's able to use the infinite vastness to get out of there. But right now you're seeing all that pain come through from Shanks after that attack and assault from Mac, right? He's got a personal vendetta right now.
Yep, look at that gold swing. Right now, it's pretty much even. It's about time for the item switching as well. This is a big opportunity for them. Flaming Palm onto the mid T3. Look at the damage they've laid down on the side of Vitality as well.
Yeah, we see that Suya's laying down the law there, trying to clear the waves. They lose the higher ground turret into the Clash Lane Kid. It's looking like a troublesome end here for VP.
Yep, they can't find an opening on the side of VP. They get caught out on the backlines. Mac is going in for the damage as well. Infinite Vastness going to be the savior for Shanks at this point, but he's falling low. The damage is coming in. VP, they turn it around. They get Winter as well, and this is a successful defense coming in from VP.
Yeah, managing to take away the Vanguard, the Tempest Vanguard there at the T3 in the mid lane, just stopping the stuns coming through, stopping the damage as well. Great defense, able to take out Winter, so that's a lot of sustainability from the side of Team Vitality Gun. They've just got to make sure that a VP are able to push these Vanguards away and just basically stave this next Vanguard attack.
Oh yeah, this is definitely important, right? At this point, they've burned out 3 elements for their defense. And right now, I feel like, you know, Vitality should put their foot on the pedal, put more pressure.
Yes, I mean, there needs to be, right? They have to play this very, very aggressively. They can't kind of play it very cordial in terms of like, hey, let's take a few jabs here and there. It's not that point in the game, right? We get into that 22 minutes. Something has to break.
Yep, definitely. And you know what? Both teams now, they have a T3 broken down on their respective lanes, and they have a tower that's extremely dangerously low as well.
Yeah, looking for a big push here is Team Vitality. The only thing standing between that high ground turret is the Mulan right now. Okay.
Yep, the swing comes in. The BC is going to be dropped as well. Grizzly Q catches 2 on the backlines. Here comes Mac. He's flying in as well. 90, unable to tank the damage. Vex on the backlines, chasing in, gets the kill. That's the first life. But on the other side of the fight, 3005 will be taken down. Right here, Vex might have made a mistake. It's going to be 1-on-5 here. Vex trying for his life. Gets the kill, a killing spree. But VP, they lose 2. It's not enough damage, not enough health.
Yeah, no, that was well played there by Vitality, getting that Tempest Dragon, because they was able to push the Vanguard to the Crystal, and now they're on a bad footing for the side of VP, playing a little bit of a handicap, 3v4 right now. What is going to happen here, Kin? I think this is probably it.
Yep, this is going to be Forbidden Domain. They are going to try and push it in. Grizzly Q is done for. There's no more tank. They're still so healthy at this point. Infinite Vastness. The Dragon has been unleashed. This time from the side of Vitality. The waves are crashing in. This could be the first game of the match here as Vitality. They go for the Crystal. They get it all. And Vitality take game number 1.
What a close match, right? That's one way to kick off day 1 of the EMEA play-ins for the 2024 Honor of Kings Championship. Very, very close, showing a very much improved Virtus Pro to actually go up ahead against Team Vitality and take it all the way to that 23-minute mark. That's a feat in itself, right?
That's right. That's why I'm so excited for day 1 of this EMEA play-ins, because all 3 teams really strong, and you can tell, right? You give them a small centimeter, they will take a yard from you.
Yes, if they take an inch, they will take a mile. And it got to the point where Virtus Pro was looking like they were going to actually end the game, but just because of that knowledge from Team Vitality, the exposure against some of the hardest teams on the scene, really put like a resilience to their name, and they were able to push through it, make sure they didn't get that mental boom, and went all the way to that 23-minute mark. So Team Vitality getting a 1-up to Virtus Pro, but it wasn't a convincing 1-up, right? It was very contested.
Yeah, very tough, right? But this is still the Shanks show coming in all the way from the previous performance he has placed on stage, on the world stage, in fact. And I think it's a really proud moment for him, right? But just to be clear, Mac was on fire as well.
Yes, that Mac attack towards the back when we saw that Shanks went down was definitely one of the biggest upsets of that game 1, right? When Virtus Pro decided to flip the whole game for themselves, get the Shadow Tyrant, also take down Shanks, and just completely almost wipe out the whole side of Team Vitality. But fortunate for Team Vitality, they were still able to bounce back from that. And I think it's all down to the Lung pick, right? When you get into that late game with Lung, you give over the Tempest Dragon by the fall of a bad team fight prior to that. The damage that comes through with Lung is crazy, and you're about to see that in these highlights.
Yeah, so, you know, with the first big win going over to the side of VP in terms of the steal on the neutral objective, we thought, hey, VP was having a good game, right? But it was just Vitality holding them at knife's edge, telling them, hey, you can't step too far into the base. In fact, there was a moment, I think, right at the mid side where 3005 actually got that T3 on the bot lane of Vitality's base. That was a huge moment for them.
Yeah, that was like I was saying to Hauler yesterday, it's all about setting up these side lanes, and this is the thing that I feel like teams like Tribe Gaming need to kind of learn, is that it's not all about these brawls, it's not all about these kills, it's all about making sure you're able to open up your lanes, because that's what really paints the end game for your team. The ways in, being able to apply pressure, making your enemy team think, damn, if we lose one team fight and they've taken our higher ground in the farm lane, that is their way into our base, and we got to let that happen.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, once you have the map control, it's all about how you take the fights. And I think Vitality, they've shown championship material just